It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all want a ring. Yeah, we all want to be free.
Post-game show, a little bit late, but we got a special guest on here. It's one of my best friends. Cannot wait. He has not been on here in a long time. It's my buddy, my pal, one of the greatest minds in football. That's Raw Detroit. What's going on, man?
What's poppin', baby? What's going on? Glad to be here, Mike. What's happening, man?
Hey, man, I am really happy to be here. Folks, welcome Raw Detroit into this chat. This is one of my go-to guys I talk to on a daily basis. This guy knows his football. He talks Detroit Lions. He talks prospects. So when we get into the Q&A mailbag, I guarantee, I already told him this, that they're going to come in at him about some questions regarding the draft and all sorts of fun stuff. You know it's coming.
Hey,
you know it's coming.
It's all good, man. It's all in love. It's all in love. Hey, that's the thing, man. We always want to talk futuristic when we're talking Detroit Lions.
Oh, 100%, bro. And that's what you're all about. We got Weston Lion, Dragon Fan, Chrome, 9 Drinks, Jonathan Anton, Dr. D, Paul Ginder, Jamie Warren, Mark Malik, 9 Drinks, Chrome in the building, man. We got it. Let's talk some Detroit Lions, though.
What's up, Chrome? What's up, 9 Drinks?
Oh, yeah. Hey, he knows the ball, man. Okay, Detroit, TA. I'm going to just call you TA because that's what I call you. Your channel is Raw Detroit. Yep. Make sure everybody in here subscribes to the channel, the greatest channel there is. My favorite YouTuber, period. So if it's my favorite YouTuber, you got to take it up here. TA, man, initial thoughts of the game that took place for the Lions yesterday.
Man, when I think about the game, I think about the opportunities that we left on the board yesterday. Some of the decision makers towards the end of the game is it's crucial, man, the way the Detroit Lions had an opportunity to win the game and we just did not win it. When you're talking about your quarterback, you're talking about a guy that knows how to get it done, knows how to win games in the NFL, but at the same time, having that clutch gene, having that gene to be able to say, hey, look, fellas, I'm going to take this team on my back. Trust me, guys, I'm going to get us down here, and we're going to score the football. We're not going away with a field goal. We're going to walk away with a touchdown, and we're going to ultimately, at the end of the day, we're going to win this football game. And that's what you think about because the Lions had an opportunity to win the football game. It's no excuses on how these guys didn't execute and get it done. But at the same time, I questioned the call on the 3rd and 1 where they went for the deep ball instead of just going and having the running back, Jamal Williams, get that first down and pick up those yards or be able to do a quarterback sneak. I question that. But at the same time, my biggest thing is why didn't the quarterback get it done? And I'm not blaming Jared Goff. What I'm saying is why didn't he have the clutch gene to be able to drive the football home and ultimately at the end of the day, get that W for the Lions.
When you look at that play, that 3rd and 1, what happened there? Was this a miscommunication between Chark and Goff, maybe because of him being injured? Was it a Goff bad throw? Was it pressure? Like, what happened there? Personally, I've tried to figure it out. I've heard multiple things. Jared Goff saying it was on him and lack of communication, but that's what quarterbacks do. Was it DJ Chark just simply running the wrong route and, Goff was throwing to the right spot? What do you think happened there?
Yeah, I think on that play right there was miscommunication, probably on what route to run, because if you look at how he threw the ball, it was actually right there where it's supposed to be at. But Chark ended up cutting in, and ultimately when he cut in, miscommunication, the ball doesn't get there. And he doesn't catch the football because you would think somebody with a 6'4" frame would be able to jump up and snag that ball out the air. But that wasn't the case on yesterday. That he just didn't They just the timing, man, the communication, and then he's just getting back to as well. So that has a lot to do with it too as well. The chemistry of the team, the chemistry of Goff and Chart, they really haven't had the chemistry that we thought that they were going to have when they was actually balling out in the preseason and when they were playing well in training camp. You thought that would carry over to the regular season, but for some reason it has not.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It was a weird play. I actually question when it comes to Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson. Like you were saying, why wouldn't you run the football or at least have a play pinned up for Amon-Ra St. Brown where Goff and him are on the same page? You know, those two are right now are black and white. They're water to a cup. They're connected. You know, you'd think maybe that would potentially be the play, but that was a really weird one, how you go to DJ Chark, a guy who hasn't been here that much, and in all honesty, the connection is not fully there.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's a chemistry thing, you know, and that's what it shows you with that play, that it was a chemistry thing. But no way that you're calling a play like that. You know, we talk about the Seattle Seahawks making that bonehead decision, not running the football with Marshawn Lynch in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. But if you look at us, look what we did yesterday. We had an opportunity to win this football game. They gave us that opportunity. We were driving the ball good, and we just did not make the right decision on either the play call or either the chemistry of what those two players were supposed to be ultimately doing. So at the end of the day, you walk away. Josh Allen comes in here and wheels the team down the field and ends up kicking a field goal and winning the football game. And you're looking, you know what I mean? You're looking, and only thing you can say is disbelief, because you didn't think that was going to happen. You thought that Jared Goff would ultimately be able to take the team down there, carry them on his shoulders, and win the game. And that's what separates franchise quarterbacks like Josh Allen from a average quarterback in Jared Goff. Jared Goff is a solid football player, but at the same time, he's an average quarterback at best. So when you look at guys like Pat Mahomes and other elite quarterbacks, they know what it takes to drive the football down the field and win the football game, because that's what you're trying to do at the end of the day. You're trying to walk away with the W, and everybody walks away happy, and we get a piece of turkey and we leave, you know?
We got to get that turkey and leave. We got a $2 super chat from Nathaniel Hawkins Jr. Thank you so much for the $2 super. He says, rookie coach mistakes on 3rd and 1. Yeah, I agree. I think, again, there's a ton of, and I'm nitpicking here. I thought overall, like, the players are fighting really hard. I think personally, what I'm seeing here is these players are getting, or the coaches are getting everything out of all the players. As much as you can get out of Alex Anzalone for the talent that he is, as much as you can get for all the players. And I think that's a testament to the coaching staff really well, because that's all you ask for, is to get the best out of your players. And in all honesty, let's be here. We're talent deficient and compared to the Buffalo Bills.
Most teams.
You know, am I happy we lost? Hell no. I wanted to win. No. We should have won the game. I think it was a bad call on the 3rd and 1, and you got to get better with the timeouts. You can't have 2 timeouts at the end of the game. Just can't do it. Should have ran the football,
that is right, Mike.
or had a better
timeouts. You're right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that is right, Mike. We did have those timeouts, and we didn't utilize them to the best of our ability, man. You know, when you have the game and you can win the game, that's what you want to do. Run that clock out, run the football, and manage the football game. I know that that's what Jared Goff has been pretty much told to do, to be a game manager. He's not called to be this quote-unquote savior of the team, but we need him to come up with the big plays, you know, towards the end of the game. I'm not going to fault him for the loss or anything like that, but I look at it as in a way that he could have been better on that drive. And sometimes, you know, you want to see if he really has what it takes to will this team to a victory. When I look at a quarterback, I look at quarterbacks that are going to will the team to a victory. A guy that's going to go out there and say, "Hey guys, don't worry about it. You know, let's look beyond the play that just happened, and let's go out here and let's score and let's get in his end zone. Let's do that, man." And I think that that's something that Goff has to do. He has to instill confidence in the players as well. When you're a quarterback, you're called to instill confidence in your guys out on the field, so they're confident that they're going to either get the football or you're going to make something happen. You're going to make something out of nothing.
I don't think you're looking for a Hall of Fame quarterback. I think if you've seen Matthew Stafford, Ken, he would be a quarterback that can do it at the last couple of minutes of a game or last minute of a game. We've seen it. It's called the Stafford comeback. We've seen that many times. I think you see
Many
other
times.
quarterbacks do that too, like a Josh Allen, and you see a Lamar Jackson or a Patrick Mahomes. You've seen Tom Brady. Hell, Kirk Cousins done it a couple of times. So I don't think you're looking
Yep.
for a Hall of Fame quarterback. You're just looking for that. Even Matt Ryan. I don't think he's no Hall of
Yeah.
Fame quarterback in his prime. Now Matt Ryan now is butt cheeks. But he had that ice in his veins where it doesn't really bother him that much. But again, I'm not really. This loss to me it stung not because we sucked. It's because we played really
Yeah.
hard and it was close. Like
Yeah,
I
it was a
guess
close
it's
game.
like a double-edged sword. You want to win so bad, but at the same time, you're getting a lot out of the players that you have. And once I personally believe, I don't know about UTA, once we get more talent in the draft and free agency, linebacker, pass rusher, interior lineman, a corner, and whether it be free agency, the draft, this team, and a quarterback, this team, it could be scary good for a long time.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. When it comes, and that's my thing, man. I love talking direct. So guys, make sure you subscribe to Raw Detroit, because that's what we do on Raw Detroit. We're kind of a little bit different from the other Detroit Lions YouTubers. Most people focus on what's going on currently, but we always think about the Lions futuristically, how these guys can get better, what players on the team that we can add to the team that's going to make us a legit competitor next year. When you're thinking with the mind of a GM, you're thinking of goals that you have set, that you're going to bring in some guys that's going to help ultimately propel this defense from being one of the butts of everybody's jokes on Sundays to being an elite defense and actually playing like some ferocious Lions out on the football field. That's what I think about when it comes to the draft this season. That's what Brad Holmes is going to have to do. He's going to have to go out there and he's going to have to get some star power and some blue chip talent out there. There's premium talent that you can find at level at the defensive tackle, whether you're getting a corner or a safety, or if you want to grab another running back and maybe a quarterback to develop. There's talent out there that you can get that's going to ultimately help this team get better. And that's what you have to have on your mind if you're Brad Holmes. How can I get this team to be competitive next season? Because this will be my fourth season trying to run this organization, and I need to get these guys to the next level.
Yeah, 100%. Guy says in there, you just named 4 positions laughing out loud in the draft. Yeah. This team is much better talented this year than it was last year and then the year before that. It's clear the players that you've drafted in the last 2 years are contributing in a big way.
Right.
We're talking about James Houston, 2 sacks. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's the number 1 wide receiver. Lee McNeil has been stepping up on the interior. Aiden Hutchinson slowly getting better each game, up and down, but he's looking pretty damn good. You got Jerry Jacobs, a big piece of this team. It takes a little bit of time to infuse a club full of talent when a team with, Brad Holmes or Quintricia, who destroyed this team getting rid of talent like, I don't know, Diggs. I don't know about DeAndre Slay or Slay. All these other players that they got rid of. We had talent and we lost talent. And it takes time to acquire those talents. So to say, we just got 4 positions, that's good. I'm happy. I'm glad it's not every position. Because just a couple years ago, it's like, okay, we needed a right tackle. Okay, we need to get a guard. Okay, we need to get a tight end. We need to get a wide receiver, another wide receiver.
Yep.
We needed to get a defensive tackle, defensive end, 2 linebackers. It was depleted. Nobody expected this team to be good last year, and it wasn't.
Right. It's true, Mike. When you think about it, man, the biggest thing with the Lions is being able to get the talent on the team. You can't. Like we said, you can't get all the positions that you want, but you need to be able to go out for those positions that are weaknesses on your team. You know that the linebacking core is not the greatest in the world. Yes, Malcolm Rodriguez has come in and done a solid job, but you need some players to be able to play alongside linebackers that can really make some plays, and that's what I will be looking for. I'll be looking for talented guys that can either help us in the run support. They can also drop back in coverage. We need those multifaceted type of players on the defense that's going to help us in that way. Because I don't think that Malcolm Rodriguez is going to be able to do this thing alone. He's going to need a couple other
Yeah.
linebackers to play with him to make him even a better player even next season. You're going to need that type of premium and blue chip type of talent in here.
And it's going to take the continuum of drafting players in all the rounds that we've seen. So hopefully, Brad Holmes keeps doing it. But the future is bright, I feel, at least from a talent perspective here in Detroit. The talent is slowly getting there. That's what I saw yesterday, is a team that competed that probably we wouldn't have competed, I don't know, for the last 4 or 5 years. It was a little bit different. We've seen it. We're not there yet, but we're slowly getting there. I feel like the talent is slowly getting there. We got a super chat from Nathaniel Hawkins Jr. We need another quality edge rusher and a defensive tackle to take the pressure off the secondary, and we win more games. I believe it. I believe it. And
I believe that totally.
100%. And I agree. We got Romeo Okwara coming back, and we have a chance to see, is Romeo Okwara the long-term solution? Is he going to be affected after coming off that major surgery? If he looks great, well, maybe that edge position is a little bit less. I could focus on interior defensive tackle, and then the defensive line is starting to look like the offensive line, where it's a dominant trench. Now we need to get a linebacker to be with Malcolm Rodriguez as a young duo. I like what Alex Anzalone does, but he has a ceiling. We need to get a guy that's a little bit better, that brings that extra punch, and it continue on. We need someone opposite of Jeff Okudah. We're slowly getting there. If you look at teams like the Philadelphia Eagles, their talent, talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. You talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, TA, because you know a lot about prospects. You know a lot about how to build a roster. They're infused with talent on defensive line, linebacker, secondary, offensive line. That's why they're good. They have that talent.
Right. And yeah, Mike, that you say that, that's what you want to do. I was listening to something one day that Warren Sapp was saying. He was saying the reason what made us a great defense in Tampa Bay is that we have all three phases covered. When you think about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back then, they had guys like Simeon Rice on that line as a DN. Then you had Warren Sapp, who was the defensive tackle. And then you think about the linebackers that they had at the time, Hardy Nickerson and Derek Brooks. And then you think about the corner that they had, Rondé Barber, and then you had also John as a safety. So you have to be able to have all phases on your defense where you got players that can make plays, because that's truly what it's all about. Being able to develop guys. And the biggest problem that we've had in Detroit, and this has been the norm with Detroit, is that we draft a lot of guys, but they don't pan out to be the type of players that we think that they should be. These guys should be further along than what they are. So normally the guys that we draft, we have the guys on the team for 2 or 3 years. Next thing you know, we're trading them or getting rid of those guys. We need guys that we can truly develop, and we can see that these guys will grow so that they can make that impact on defense that we truly need. We need guys that are going to come in this season. This season has to be your year where you go out and get the impact players that's going to truly help the defense. We know that the defense is dead last pretty much, so we need to have the premium talent on this team to be a better football team, and we need to be able to cover guys on all phases of the defense, from the guys up front to the linebackers, and also in the secondary as well.
And that's what I'm encouraged about, is we're seeing development of the young players. That's something that has not happened here in a long freaking time, unless it's a first overall pick or a second overall pick. We've seen that, but we haven't seen third round picks develop. We haven't seen fourth round picks develop. Now we are. Kirby Joseph, Amon-Ra St. Brown. We got James Houston make 2 sacks and a fumble recovery. This dude's been on the practice squad draft in the 6th round. You're starting to see players in other rounds contribute. That is encouraging. That is what I like to see. And is it perfect? It's not perfect. But we're slowly getting there. It's slowly happening. And the more that we develop this young talent, the better that this team is not just going to be for this year or next year, but a team that is a winner consistently, like the Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, teams that you see on a consistent basis win. They may have one losing season, but they bounce right back. That's what you're looking for, because if you have a good bunch of young talent, a player leaves in free agency, you just redraft the same position. If you're confident in your GM can find a player to get the same type of success or close to it to the player that left. That's what it's all about. And that's what I thought this game showed me, is there's talent out there making plays, and it was good to see the Aleem McNeils the last couple weeks really show out. Good job. Kirby Joseph looking like a baller right now. A bunch of interceptions in the last couple of weeks. You got Aiden Hutchinson making impacts. Jerry Jacobs from last year. You're seeing young players make plays. That is what happens if you can get good draft picks, good players that your general manager and your scouts find that are young to help your team out. You're not just winning with old veteran guys. You're winning with young talent. And you just keep building and keep going on. So I expect next year we're talking playoffs, because we got another draft and another free agency. This is not a 4-7 win, 7-loss team this time next year. It should be the opposite.
Yeah, and once, like you said, Mike, once you get those players that's going to contribute to this team, whether you're getting, you're getting a Will Anderson, you're getting a Jalen Carter, you're getting a Brian Breesy, or even a Big Massey from Michigan. Whether these type of players, ultimately at the end of the day, we need some guys that's going to go out there. And reason why we need this is because right now we know that Levi he's not panning out right now with the injuries and stuff like that, and that's kind of hurt us, man. That set us back a year. I say at least a year, because him not being able to get out there on the field. So now you have to go back and double back in this draft, and you got to go back and get talent. And it's crazy, because we should be developing other parts on our team, but because Levi's not working out currently right now, and he's doing the injury thing right now, and he has the injury with the back situation. First of all, I know a lot of players come into the league hurt and banged up and stuff like that, and it happens. It's football. These guys are going to get hurt. But your MO, you can't bring in guys that can't contribute right away. You got to have guys that's going to be able to contribute to this Lion team, and that's what the Lions have not had. They have not had Josh Pascal at the beginning of the season to help this team and contribute in that way. We haven't had Levi to be out there with Hutch. If we had those two guys out there alone, we would probably be even further than what we are right now. So I think this offseason, Brad Holmes has to really do his homework. He really has to get the talent in here that's going to help propel this team to the next level, because that's what we want to see. As fans, you're tired of losing on Sundays. I know you guys are tired of losing on Sundays. You want a team, like Mike said, that's going to be consistent, that's going to give an effort, just like they gave an effort yesterday, but you want to be able to get that W too at the same time.
Yesterday, the Detroit Lions took the L, and, when you look at the Lions defense, there was some good and some bad that was taking place. What is some of the good that you've seen? What is some of the bad you've seen? What can the Lions do for the rest of the year to make this defense even better?
I'll repeat that again, Mike.
The Lions defense yesterday, we've seen some good, we've seen some bad. What was good, what was bad, and what can the Lions do to help out this defense to make it even better?
Well, I think the bad part of it is when we're not making the key stops when we need to. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to make every single play, but making the initial stops where you need to. Like, if our defense could have held up and stopped Josh Allen from driving down the field, that would have been encouraging. And then the bright spots that you see, guys like Kirby Joseph stepping up, playing well. Sometimes he's going to get beat. It's a rookie. He's learning on the job, and sometimes he's going to get beat. Everybody is not going to be able to stop every single play. But you want to have guys that can at least contain guys and at least make plays every now and then. The development of Hutch and how he's been playing, a lot of people I know had the bust scenario on him, but he's not a bust at all. It's going to take time for guys to really, really, be effective on this Lions defense. So what I'm seeing, guys like James Houston, big showing for James Houston yesterday. Did not think that he was going to show up and show out like he did. I think, Mike, didn't he have 2 sacks yesterday?
2 sacks, fumble recovery, absolute stunning debut. And it's not just 2 sacks. This is Josh Allen, big body, 230 pounds, 6'5", dual threat quarterback that he took down. An amazing debut for him as a rookie.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see. When you're seeing guys like that, and you're seeing you get into the contribution from guys like Derek Barnes, because I still feel like Derek Barnes should be out on the field more than what he was in the beginning. He's starting to be out there a little bit more now, but he's in year 2. You expect this. You know what I'm saying? So when you come into the draft, you're like, okay, maybe I just grab me another linebacker, or should I just grab 2 linebackers? What do I do? And I think at the end of the day, now it's going to be, you may have to double up and get 2 linebackers in. I want to see this team be fully developed the way that it needs to develop. And that's being able to draft your own players that's going to contribute right away, but at the same time, be able to have their growing pains, make their mistakes out there.
Yeah.
Those are guys are going to make mistakes as rookies.
And we talk about this all the time behind the scenes, folks, and I think you need to know rookies are going to make mistakes. They're going to have growing pains. They're going to have great games. They're going to have down games. That's the part of being a rookie. But overall, are they making an impact? Aiden Hutchinson is a bust. I've heard that a lot. But if you look at the edges, compare him to Kayvon Thibodeau, it's not even close. It's not even close what's going on there. One is good, and the other one is a you don't even hear about. Kirby Joseph. Well, he didn't make the play this one time. Okay, he just had 2 interceptions, one game, an interception the other game. He's just right now top 8 in Defensive Rookie of the Year award for a guy that we got in the later round, mid to late round. So that's the type of stuff you're looking at. They're going to have good games. They're going to have bad games. Just take the time. Don't give these rookies a little bit. Players develop at a different rate. Not everybody is going to be a Greedy Williams that comes off rip and is just amazing. Or Dominican Sue. You know what I'm saying? That's not how generally it works out. These are rarities. Sometimes it takes, was DeAndre Levy, TA, do you remember DeAndre Levy as a rookie being DeAndre Levy that we know? I don't think so.
No, it took a couple seasons for him to, really get warm out there. And then once he got warm, then he knew what he had to do. He became that linebacker that we need. And that's the type of guy that we need. I mean, when you think about what Levy did when he was on the team, he was a guy that can stop the a he was a linebacker that was great in coverage. And if I believe, I think that season where he really did really well with all those interceptions, I think he was an all-pro on the second he was on the second team all-pro. So that's what we want to do. We want some of these guys to develop to be all-pro caliber players and Pro Bowl type of players. Now, is everybody going to be that type of player? No. But if you got some of these guys, you got an all-pro safety on your team, you got an all-pro linebacker on your team, and you got somebody up front that is an all-pro, then definitely I think that's going to give the team an identity. And I think that is something that we don't have. Or if these guys are not all-pro or Pro Bowl, they're solid players that make great contributions to the team. And that's ultimately what you want in Detroit. You want guys to come in to be solid football players and to be contributors to really, really being able to do something great in Detroit, because at the end of the day, fans don't really care about stats. Real fans care about wins. You could care less if Jared Goff went out there and threw for 500 yards and still lost the game. The biggest notion is that you want to be able to win the game. I don't care if he threw for 500. Did we win that football game? That's what you want. And that's what we need in Detroit, is guys that's going to be able to compete at a high level, guys that are coming in to be solid football players. If you look at a lot of teams, they have their guys. They have a guy that's they got a guy. Okay, if you look at the Rams, they got solid players. You got a Donald up front. Then you got a couple solid linebackers. You got Bobby Wagner in the middle, and then you also have Ramsey, who is not the same Jalen Ramsey, but he still can play. But at the same time, that's the type of comparison, or those are the type of things that you want to see in Detroit. And you want to see those guys develop that type of way, because when we had Sue on the team, Sue gave us that meanness. He gave us that identity, that roughness, that rough edge that we need. And that's what we needed. That's what we need ultimately to be competitive and be the Lions that we need to be, is having some guys in here that are not just choir boys, but guys that are kind of rough around the collar a little bit.
I'm here with my buddy TA Raw Detroit. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Great channel, Prospects, Detroit Lions. My buddy, he played at a high level in college as a running back. So we're going to go jump to the running back position right now in offense. What have you seen from Swift, from Jamal Williams, Justin Jackson? What is going on as someone who played the position at a significant level?
Well, basically, what you're seeing is you're seeing out of DeAndre Swift, the injuries really derailing his career, and kind of, his career is not really panning out the way it should be. When you think about when Swift first came in, he was sharing spot duties with Kerryon Johnson, and then it became Adrian Peterson, and now he's doing the same thing. He's never really had the opportunity to really, get the keys and really go. And the injuries right now is kind of stopping him from doing it, even though he missed only a few games throughout the season. And even this year, you can see that there's a change when you look at Swift out there, it's not the same. And you notice that as a Detroit Lions fan, that you're not getting that same type of Swift. You're not getting the explosion. You're not getting the carries. He's on limited snaps. Like, what is truly going on with the situation? Is the Lions deciding in their mind that we're just going to run with Jamal Williams because he's been solid for us and he's been reliable? And that's what normally teams look at. Who's going to be the reliable guy? Who's going to be the durable running back? And right now you have to say it's been Jamal Williams. So when you look at Swift, who's supposed to be the number one running back, and he's the most explosive running back on the team, he's not out on the field to contribute. And when he comes back, he is pretty much playing a role, and they got him on a snap count where he's not able to fully engage the game like he should be. I think that ultimately, like a running back should get anywhere between 15 to 25 touches in a game. And all of it doesn't have to be running. It could be catching out the backfield as well. But ultimately, for a guy to really heat up on the field, they need a lot of touches. And Swift right now is not getting that. So I'm starting to think that either the injuries are playing a part in this, or if it's not the injuries, it's the Lions making a decision saying we're just going to keep him on a limited snap count because we do not want this kid to get hurt anymore. So we're just going to roll with Jamal Williams, and we're going to bring in, and even Josh Jackson has been to some extent getting more time than Swift. So you got to see that the injuries is kind of playing a part. Then it's the Lions also saying we don't want him to get hurt again, and we're just going to have him on a limited snap count.
So we got Jameson Williams coming up in about a week. So after this, we'll go to QA, and I want you guys to ask TA a ton of questions. If you got questions about running backs, he is the guy to go to. Prospects, this guy knows what he's talking about. This is what he does. He lives in the world of prospect. He played at a high level. Jameson Williams, looks like he's gonna make his debut versus Jacksonville Jaguars. What do you think he's going to bring to the Lions offense, and what is it going to do to defenses that have to face this man and the rest of the Lions offense?
Well, first off, you're talking about one of the guys that was one of the most dynamic wide receivers in college football last season. And let's face it, if he doesn't get injured, he's probably the first receiver taken, and the Lions are probably not even pulling the card on Jameson Williams. But, man, I know everybody wants to see what this kid is going to look like, and I think it's going to be electrifying. But at the same time, I don't really know, because we need to make sure that Jared Goff is able to be able to throw that ball downfield, because that's part of Jameson Williams' game. He's a great route technician. He's great with the routes and everything like that. But his bread and butter is being able to get that deep ball and take it to the house and take the top off defense. So ultimately, I think that that's the same type of receiver that he was at Alabama. That's what the Detroit Lions are envisioning. That's what fans are envisioning right now, that he's going to be that type of dynamic player for us and playmaker for us and utilize that speed. But at the same time, you have to make sure that your quarterback is going to be on one accord with him, because that's going to be everything. That's going to that being able to deliver him the football is going to mean a lot. You have to have a quarterback that can make those big throws. And right now, we know that Jared Goff, his deep ball, he throws deep balls every now and then, but it's not the greatest in the world. So you got to make sure that you got that quarterback back there that can deliver him the football. And if he can't deliver him the football, then you're going to have to think this also. We're going to have to make an adjustment, and we may have to draft a quarterback this season. And I'm fine with that. If Jared Goff is still here and they decide to draft another quarterback, I'm cool with that. I have no problem with that at all, because I think ultimately at the end of the day, it is time to get a quarterback. Whether you're getting a developmental quarterback or you're getting a quarterback that is the future quarterback as a franchise quarterback. So I'm talking about guys like maybe guys like Young, CJ Stroud, maybe Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker got hurt, so you probably just look at him in the later rounds now because he got hurt, but he was balling before that. Some people say Will Levis. Will Levis has been kind of up and down this season, but he's a decent quarterback. He's only about 23 years old, but at the same time, and then there's guys that you can go out and get to develop. Guys like Cameron Ward, a guy like guys like Bo Nix and Clayton Tune and Grayson McCall. There's guys out there where you can develop these guys too as well. So that's my biggest thing. I just want to be able to see Jameson Williams be able to deliver the football on Sundays. And if he's not going to be able to be Jameson Williams, then you're not going to get the best out of Jameson Williams.
Two-part question here. I'm going to Dr. Detroit. He says, #Raw, who do you draft with the first two picks? Right there. And a quick question, what makes a dual-threat quarterback? You played with a mobile quarterback in college. I know you love the mobile quarterback. We talk about it all the time. Why is a mobile quarterback so good, and it changes the dynamics, and it could change it for the Lions? And who do you draft with the first four picks?
Ooh, man, that's a great question. Well, when it comes to the quarterback situation, I know it's not an easy situation because in Detroit, we've had nothing but pocket passers. Now, we've had guys that can, they have some mobility, guys like Dante Culpepper, John Kidna, Jeff Garcia back in the days. You had that. But the dynamic ability that a dual threat quarterback gives you is to be able to carry out plays with his legs sometimes. Now, yesterday we were in a situation where it was a 3rd and 1. Maybe if you got a dynamic quarterback, you pick up the first down. You get what I'm saying, guys? So basically, when it comes to making a decision on a quarterback, it's not just his ability to be able to run out of the pocket every single play, but it's his ability to be able to stand in the pocket and deliver the football as well. Do I want a guy that runs all the time? No, I do not. I want a guy that can use his legs to be able to get us out of tough situations. And I think that ultimately at the end of the day, that's what we need to see in Detroit, the changing of the guard. We need to ultimately see a different type of style of play. Now, everybody is not happy with me probably saying this, but I just got to tell the truth. I got to call it like I see it. We need something that's a little bit different from the norm, what we've had. And why not give an opportunity to a dynamic playmaker that can do something with his legs as well as doing things with his arm as well. And when you think about quarterbacks like that, you think of maybe a Bryce Young being the face of the team. But I know ultimately we have to be able to get in the top 5 to even sniff out a Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Maybe at the time on my mind was Hendon Hooker, big time, big quarterback, 6'4", 220 pounds. That was the type of guy that was on my mind. And then you think of other guys that's out there. There's a lot of quarterbacks that are coming into the league that can do something with their legs. So this is not a knock on Jared Goff. It's just saying that, maybe we get something a little different from Jared Goff. He'll probably still be the quarterback next season, but we'll have a guy that would ultimately be able to do something and bring a different skill set and dynamic to the team. Imagine having a guy like a Bryce Young being a part of this team. And what he would do, he would deliver the deep. He has a great arm, and he's mobile. He's not going to run every time. And if you ever watch Bryce Young in college, he doesn't run every time. He runs when he needs to, and that's what you want. You don't, not saying that you have to let guys like Lamar Jackson be Lamar Jackson. That's what makes those guys great. You can't try to bring a guy over here, for instance, and say like Lamar Jackson and say, well, Lamar, I need you to do this, X, Y, da, da, da. I need you to stand in the pocket. You have to let them be great at what made them great. You can't bring a guy in here and ask him to be Tom Brady because that's not going to happen. He's not Tom Brady. So basically, being able to get a guy that ultimately at the end of the day that is going to help get this team. Basically, I want to call it a chain mover. You're looking for a quarterback that can help move the chains. You want the chains moving on Sunday, and if he's going to stand back there and just get sacked, then that's not helping us. We need somebody that can pick up 10 or 15 yards down the field. You see what Josh Allen was doing to us yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Every now and then he would get 10, 15, 20 yards down the field with his legs. And Josh Allen is a big quarterback. And he still was taken out of the pocket and picking up those extra yards. So maybe if we had that type of different dynamic here, maybe that will make this offense even explosive. So getting guys that have the ability to be able to escape out of the pocket is going to be essential for the Detroit Lions going forward, to be able to see something new and to see something that is going to make this offense really, really dangerous.
And when you played a running back in college, having a mobile quarterback, it made your numbers look good for a running team, right? It makes you look good.
Yeah, it takes the pressure. Yeah, it takes the pressure off. Yeah, it takes the pressure off you. When you got a dynamic player that can do something with his legs on the ground, that takes pressure off you as a running back, because you're like, okay, I can take a break right here. Well, not as far as like taking a break on the field, but hey, somebody else is going to go out there and contribute with their legs besides me being able to tote that rock and do something with my legs. Now, when it comes to the running back position per se, there's a lot of running backs that you could take in the draft that would ultimately help get this team better. You got guys like Blake Corum that you could take a look at. You got guys like Zach Charbonnet that used to play for Michigan but went back to UCLA. He's having a phenomenal season with UCLA. You got guys like Dwayne McBride. You also got the guy from Minnesota, Muhammad Ibrahim, something like that. You got him out there. So there's a lot of different running backs. And one of my favorites is Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, I know. You love it. You talk about this dude every day.
I would love, because I know I'm getting a true number one running back. If I had Bijan Robinson on this team, man, we would be a phenomenal team, man.
Maybe the late, bro. A late first. I can't take with the first two first.
But I know everybody
picks.
wants.
Yeah,
right. That's what I said. I know everybody wants defense, man. So it's just me just dreaming, man. Just having.
Yeah.
Having that on my mind.
If we get like 5 first-round picks, man, there we go. We getting Bijan. Yeah. Ain't no doubt, dog.
I would love to have Bijan Robinson on this team.
Running backs, this question to you, do you think that we should let Swift go for the right deal? So let him go to another team, or trade him, because release him, trade him. Do you think he's the guy here in Detroit, or are you seeing stuff from Swift? And it's like, maybe we should draft a running back.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but normally, Mike, you know how we do it, man. We give him a 3-year window.
Yep. And
I pretty much think that this has been Swift's 3rd season.
Yep.
I think as a fan, I want to see some elite running, man. And I love Swift. I love what he brings to the table. I love that he's a great kid and he does everything that he's asked. But at the end of the day, I love production over loving a player. So I need the production. And if he can't get out on the field and produce, then ultimately I may make a trade and maybe I get a 3rd or 4th round pick for him. But I don't know if I'll get a 2nd for him, but it depends on what other teams are thinking about him. But you probably can get a 3rd or 4th round pick for him. And maybe you allow him to get a fresh start. Sometimes when players get fresh start, it's better. You know what I'm saying? It's better for them. It rejuvenates their career. But as far as with the running back situation in Detroit, I do think that the Lions could possibly re-sign Jamal, and they could go out there a running back in the offseason, a guy that could be a number 1 running back on this team. Get a young guy that can be that guy for you. That's what you need, man, at the end of the day.
I talk to you about Corum all the time. I'm not a Michigan fan, but just so happens to love what he brings to the table. I know he's a little dinged up right now, but God, he's such a little midget cricket, little muscle hamster out there.
Yeah, I know you call him the muscle hamster.
Yeah, I think him and Jamal Williams would be pretty good. I think the Lions should re-sign Jamal Williams, 1 or a 2-year deal. I think he's earned it. 13 touchdowns. Yeah. He's been he's not the greatest quarterback out there or running back out there, but dang it, he's solid. You know what I'm saying? He's
Yeah.
solid, and I think that would be now his top 4 draft picks. I can assume that it's going to be Will Anderson, Jalen Carter. Obviously, you like the quarterback
Young.
Bryce Young. What about C.J. Stroud? Would he be in your top 4 in this year's draft, or is there another player in there? Because I already know Carter, and you love Carter. I know you like Breezy too. So who's another
Yeah, I
player
like
in
Breezy
there
too.
that you like?
Dang, what is the other kid? I'm trying to think. What is another player that I could
Is it Murphy? I know you like Murphy too. We talk about him.
Yeah, I like Murphy. I like Murphy, and I like Jack Campbell, the linebacker out of
Yeah,
Iowa.
you love Jack Campbell.
Yeah, I love Jack Campbell, man. Jack Campbell has the size that I want at linebacker. He's great in coverage as well, and he can come up and play the run, and that's what I'm ultimately looking for. I'm looking for that dual threat linebacker as well. Everything is just dual threat over here.
Dual threat.
Yeah. I'm looking for a linebacker that can drop back in coverage. And
Isaiah
a guy
Simmons,
that can also,
right?
Yeah, I need that Swiss Army knife, man. But I need him to be able to be focused at that linebacker position. Having size at the linebacker position sometimes it's not everything, but it means a lot sometimes when you're going against those big 6'6", 6'7" behemoths of a human out there. You need to be able to shed blocks and shoot through the gaps, and be able to get to the runner or whoever may have the ball in their hands. So I would definitely think about the linebacker from Iowa and Jack Campbell. I would also think about there's another player that I wanted to mention. The linebacker that's in trouble, that got in trouble against Michigan, Jacoby Windman. He's another linebacker that I wouldn't mind having on his team. Not saying not early or anything like that.
Yeah,
He got that dog. He got that dog in him. And
it's not like all these guys at the first pick. I'm just saying. Like, we all know, Mitch, you get that dog in him. He got that extra piece in him for sure. 100%.
We're here with that dog in him because he got in trouble.
Hey, man, what Jamal Williams say? If you're a puppy, stay on the porch and piss. If you're a dog, come out here. So that's exactly it right now. Dogs. Hey, we're here with Raw Detroit, my pal, my buddy. I've known this guy for a while now. Played at a high level in college, running back position, but he loves prospects and his Detroit Lions. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. This guy's got a girth of information, and he's got other parts of him that's a girth. He's actually the guy that is famous from my soundboard. Let me, here we go. This is him.
I'm giving her a D, man, a strong D.
That is him. He's the actually one that made the sound. It's my buddy. It's great to talk to him on here. I talk to him we talk every single day. I mean, that's all we do is talk football. Yeah. Also, hit that like button, smash the like button. Let's get to 50 likes. And throw some information. We got more time for Raw Detroit. You have an opportunity. Ask him questions about prospects. Ask him about the Detroit Lions. He's got a great mind for this stuff. So if you got questions, I'm throwing it right to him. Here's an interesting one. Would you draft the Michigan kicker?
Ooh, I'll have to take a look at him again. I don't watch, I got to be real. I don't watch kickers as much because I feel like kickers come a dime a dozen. So I don't really, but now that the person said that, I'm going to go watch Michigan's kicker to see if he has a legit leg.
I know that's probably the last position you. It's like his kicker, but I tell you what, we need one bad. I don't know, Michael Badgley, he missed an easy one, made the harder one. Hey, who's your favorite cornerback in the draft?
My favorite cornerback. Now this is gonna be different from everybody else's favorite cornerback, but my favorite cornerback is Devin Witherspoon from Illinois. Another one of Kirby Joseph's partners. Witherspoon is a physical corner, gritty, nasty as they come. And this guy is looking to get in a bar fight on every pass play. I love Witherspoon. I think that by him just being a guy that can really play great, he can play great in man coverage as well as zone coverage as well. Can do it all. He doesn't have a lot of picks, but that's okay. He's a great defender. Sometimes, I know that can be overrated sometimes having a lot of picks, but being a great lockdown guy and a guy that can just stay with your man and you can play in both defense and you're physical. He's a guy that reminds me of a like a John Lynch type of player at the corner position. So if you guys don't know, go and watch the film on Devin Witherspoon out of Illinois, man. This guy is aggressive, and he's looking to take your lunch money every single week. And that's the type of guy that I want. Yeah, exactly. He's looking to get in a bar fight on every pass play. And if this guy's ready to get in a bar fight, hey, I'm going to be there with him.
Yes, he actually does watch high school football. Me and TA, we talk about this. He's got, I can't say family members, but he's got some family members that are, in my opinion, they're going to be in the NFL at some point. We talk about it all the time, high school and middle school football. He watches all this stuff. I don't know if he specifically watches Detroit high school football because he doesn't live in Detroit. You live in Arizona, but I know you watch that stuff. Yeah. I got my mind glued, man. I know so many prospects, man. Sometimes I may not know everybody, but I do know a lot of prospects. I watch a lot of film on guys and stuff like that. I always try to see what the younger guys are doing. Yeah. What is this younger generation doing and things of that nature? That's what we do for fun, man. This is what me and TA does for fun. We talk about it all the time. Baby. That's what we do. I go to the high school games here, and I'm like, hey, TA, this kid's going to be good. And he goes, hey, Mike, I got a game of Arizona. You got to see this guy.
Yeah. So we constantly talking football, man. It's like, it's like the other language that we talk.
Yeah. And it's 24/7.
English, we talk football.
Our wives get mad at us because that's all we do. Like, tells them all the time, you talk to him more than me?
Yeah. My wife said that too.
Hey, that's what happens when you love the game of football too much.
You're talking to me. Hey, Mike, when I start doing that, man, I got to lay back, man.
Hey, man, I'm sorry, but I got to come first, dog. I got to come through. I'll just play.
Exactly, man.
D. Smitty just became a member to the channel. You are a real one.
Shout out to D. Smitty.
D. Smitty. Let's go, man. And that's what I love coming on Lions Nation Unite is we have a plethora of people with knowledge of the game in different areas. Obviously, Herman Moore, all-pro wide receiver. You got TA, scout, played at a high level running back and used to the mobile quarterback. So, I mean, that's the good stuff to take in. Does Bryant get benched? Now, me and you talked about Bryant all off season, how this guy could stand out. But I got to admit, and I'm sure you've seen it, TA, that he has been playing poor lately and made some dumb mistakes in this last game.
Yeah, that's a decision with Austin Bryant is going to be made in the offseason. You're not going to do it now because it's too late in the season to worry about some of the mistakes that have already been made in this season. So you'll deal, pretty much, you like his story. He came back. He fought back and basically he fought a lot of injuries and finally was able to be a serviceable rotational guy for us. So basically, when it comes to the situation with him, you handle that in the offseason. You have it in your mind saying, okay, these are the guys that I'm going to decide to bring back. And these are the guys that I may let walk. And he may be a guy that you let walk. He may need a fresh start to be somewhere else. And you can go in and get maybe you get you a younger guy, a fresher guy, and a guy that's going to help you in the future. But dealing with Austin Bryant, he made a mistake, but look at all the mistakes we've made all season. So we can't just nitpick on him for that. But I definitely think that you would address his situation in the offseason because I think pretty much his time could be up. Could be up.
And we've seen what James Houston's just did in this last game, and we got to still judge Romeo Okwara. And then if you look in the draft, if they get an edge rusher, he could be on his way out. And I guess that's what's good when you continue to address positions and acquire more talent. Players that maybe you would have on a team before Detroit Lions are no longer there because you're just more talented at that position. So, he made a mistake. I seen he was laughing. I didn't think that was funny after hitting Josh Allen way after the whistle. Stupid mistake, and it cost the Lions 15. Ultimately some points. So I'm with you. That's one mistake, but his play on the field's got to get better because it's been bad. And I don't know what it is. but he's got to play better or he's going to be on his way out. And that's just the bottom line, because when you have a James Houston that comes in, he getting you 2 sacks against a big guy like Josh Allen. I'm going to go ahead and look at this younger guy whom you drafted, because these guys didn't draft, Austin Bryant. Hey, Mike, the Michigan kicker has made 98% of his kicks. I know he's a great kicker.
Ooh, that's
for
nice.
Sure. 98%.
Yeah, I got to go see his leg because he's gonna have to hit 98 against Ohio State.
Big game tomorrow. Who do you got tomorrow, man? Who do you got tomorrow in tomorrow's game?
Man, I'm biased, man. I'm biased. I'm going to say Michigan, but I don't believe that we have the talent to really go out there and play with the Ohio State wide receivers and Jackson Smith, Ujinga, Jimbo. I don't know how I'm butchering his name.
Joe. Just go. These names are crazy, man.
Joe, whatever you want to call it. Jackson Smith. You know what I'm talking about. You got him, and then you got Marvin, the legend, Marvin Harrison Jr. Out there balling, man. His son, Marvin Harrison's son, Marvin Harrison Jr., is a phenomenal wide receiver, man. And this kid has been box office all season. And I think that's tremendously going to be a blow to us because those guys have been playing so well. Now, the only thing with Ohio State is Ohio State has been hurt at the running back position. Yeah. But they got a running back that's a freshman that came in and rushed over 100-something yards last week, I believe. Came in and handled his business, man. So it looks like Ohio State is a well-oiled machine. Michigan is going to have to play some tough defense, and especially if Blake Corman's not playing, and pretty much they just make J.J. McCarthy a game manager. I think that ultimately Ohio State would probably win the game. Even though I want to say Michigan, I just don't think that Michigan has everything unless they get the receivers involved. Guys like Ronnie Bell, Cornelius Johnson, the rest of those guys, they got to get those guys involved. And if you can't get them involved in the passing game, then Ohio State is going to chew you up and spit you out.
It's awesome. Got to hang out, talk to TA for Raw Detroit for an hour, man. It was great. It's been a while. It's at least officially on air. We talk all the time off air, but it's been official.
Yeah.
Tell the folks about your channel, why they need to check you out, and what do you got going on in the upcoming weeks, months on your channel?
Well, basically, my channel, Raw Detroit, it's like I told you guys before, it's a little different from the other YouTubers. I do futuristic stuff, so it's not, you're not going to always get the current stuff with me. You're going to get like talking about the draft, talking about ways that the team can get better, what type of players we ultimately need to be targeting in the 2023 NFL draft class. Now, I'm not, just because I'm talking about the player, I'm not saying that the Lions are going to per se get that player, but I'm just saying the different type of caliber players. I'm just kind of warming you guys up and letting you guys know who's out there, who is the guys that you want to target, what type of positions are you looking for? Are you looking for a defensive tackle? Are you looking for the linebackers? Are you looking for another wide receiver, maybe another running back or a backup quarterback? Because that all has to be talked about. This is the type of stuff that you deal with in the offseason as a GM. You deal with these type of things. So my channel was more geared to the draft and also just talking about the team as a whole and just trying to see ultimately will this team get better with some of the draft picks. Now, normally the Lions don't pick the guys that I, deem that they should be targeting, but they need to start taking a look at some of these players because ultimately on the defensive side, we want to be aggressive on defense. And we want to be a punch you in the mouth football team offensively. But with the defense, man, we want to be aggressive, man. We want to be hungry. We want to be ferocious and hungry Lions out there. And you got to find guys that have that type of work ethic, guys that have that type of dynamic to their abilities out on the football field. And you ultimately want to see guys be playmakers. I don't want guys just batting balls all the time down. I want guys that can make interceptions. I want guys that can get strip sacks. I want guys that can come in here and get takeaways and turnovers. That's what I'm looking for too. So I'm just going to be putting you guys up on some of the prospects that's out there. You guys are not going to agree with everything, and I don't expect everybody to agree with every single thing, but these are just some of the players that's out there that you could possibly target in the draft class.
Hey, appreciate it, bro. It was an honor and a pleasure to get you on LNU. Talk some Detroit Lions football. With that said, Here,
Food
Goff.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan. Your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour. Take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder. Work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop